Yo, what up, everybody, man? This is not gonna be like our usual, crazy hype commentary. Um, we got like a month before Genesis drops, man, and I've had content. I've been sitting on it for the longest. Kind of want to give y'all my give and take from it because I think it's quite a lot that that is going to change. Considering this is like the beginning of it, I know a lot of people have their whole assumptions like, oh yeah, it's not gonna last long. We're literally at the beginning of a game. Let's not jump to conclusions. But these are the things that I would like, or that I didn't like when we were playing the initial beta, and then some things, just some things I couldn't put necessarily as bad, but not as good. They weren't really, they weren't really, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Cons, but they weren't pros. So, and some things I just like a little bit of things I want to change, man. So, we'll get into it, man. Let's get started. So the first thing that I kind of found a major kind of issue with uh was how long it took to get the late game, and often I was like bouncing around and looking for an issue. And I'm gonna explain what that was, but like the problem that I found, this is our first con, is that the price of items is extremely high. Considering that you have to kind of last hit everything. So that being said, there's no way to control like what you're hitting or what you're targeting with a controller. So I think that may need to be changed. The other thing is when they walk down like how much gold you get per wave or something like that, it wasn't much. I think it capped at about 150 or something. This is a while ago. I don't have that information on me. It has been a while. I wish I did, but ultimately it's 150. I think the cheapest item in the game was like boots and a couple of other things, but then there was items in the game that you needed, and there were like three or four of them that were 6K a piece. So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, you're stopping a lot of that, like once you get ahead type stuff, because then someone who's not ahead can still kill you if they've killed you like 10 times because they can't afford an item. So I think that needs to change. Some of the items need to be turned down just a bit as far as gold goes. Other than that, I think, like I said, as far as we get into I'm like about to get into pros. Let me stop that. But I think the item cost needs to be tuned down quite a bit. If it's not, I think that's gonna hinder things and slow down games by a tremendous amount. That's really what's keeping your game so slow. Um, Outside of the items, and I guess we'll get into our second con. But it's not really a hard con. It's just something I've noticed. Some characters really don't give you a way to like outplay them. Um, it was like what was it? It was one character I noticed, and a couple other characters in particular. An archer that has stuns built into his autos that you can't control. Um, and then the other one was a mage that can hop in you, but you couldn't like if even if you had a leap, it didn't like take him out of you. I think that needs to happen if you have like some sort of jump or flash. It kind of negates his damage, so he does have to work around that. Like, oh, you use that to like so now I can like jump in you and do all this damage. But there was no outplay for that character, that specific character, or those specific characters that I noticed. So maybe they'll add more items, or even make it where it's more like the character has to leap away for this not to work, or even all right, we're gonna put that on a stun, and you have to aim it or something. Put the stun on an aim, so you have to aim it. I think those things will help people get their uke shoes on, as we say in my channel, and dodge those abilities to get some more pressing things happening in the game, and not have to just take damage for free. I just kind of in my head. Okay, basically explain it. If they take some of those abilities off of being non-skill shots, it'll promote, or like take some of those abilities that are like a struggle to really get out of the way of, and give them some outplay potential. I think it'll create a little bit more strategy and depth to the game. That makes sense, right? Okay. Last con, and I know they were saying that they're probably going to take this off in pro play, but I think they should probably take this off in general, so it kind of gives people an idea. If they do want to play the game at a professional level, they don't have to worry about this. There's a 60 kill limit to victory in the game. So meaning if you get 60 kills on your team, you don't even have to get an objective, you can still win a game. I know a lot of times you aren't going to get that high in MOBAs. I mean, Smite is a weird example because sometimes games stall that long, and then you have teams who don't know how to split push, and it kind of screws you. And then one team may have like 120 kills, and the other one may have 90. And I've been on teams where 90 kills and we won. And I've also been on 100 kills games where we have like 100 plus kills and we won. But those games like really stretched out way too long. So I don't know if that's a great thing. I think it needs to be taken off. I think that could chase off a lot of people if they hear like 60 kill limit. Here's my issues with the pros, and these weren't even issues. When I say issue with the pros, these are things I actually thought could be interesting. I put them as pros because there's a lot of unique things here that could offer quite a bit to game mechanics, and it doesn't lock you into having certain stuff. The first thing I noticed, and I didn't really go in depth, and I could have tried when I was going up against bots, is that the items in their game have relic abilities and all of that built into them. Not so they're just, oh yeah, unusable, they're just there. No, like you can actually buy boots with flash, like and teleport with it. There's like there's some other stuff in the game that gives you shields, but once again, and going back up to the cons, a lot of these items still can't outplay certain characters. But, and here's a major thing, but it offers up the possibility, and I'm not sure because I wasn't able to test it. We'll see when it comes out if you can have more than 2 active abilities. If so, it's gonna create depth in itself. Second thing that I think was like really interesting, outside of you getting 2 like relics built into items, or even if you can have more, your teleport was actually what's the word I'm looking for? It's it gives you the ability to teleport everywhere. So in turn, it's one of those things where I couldn't really say it was a bad thing, but more of a good thing, because then it means it essentially will promote more fights. You can teleport to towers. You can teleport to base. You can teleport to a lot of places with this. That's gonna create a lot of aggression in the game. I'm all for aggression in the game because I think if you can't really be aggressive or defend certain things, sometimes games get stale. But we'll see how they change it, because I think the only problem that I think a lot of people had was that the teleporting back to base also consumed the timer. Maybe they'll change that, but I still think it's a good thing. It's something very interesting, so it kind of gives you a lot more things to play around and do. The last pro of this game, and I know once again something I didn't get a chance for, a lot of MOBAs have this issue. They don't have anything to offer someone who doesn't want to play just strictly PvP. If they don't want to play PvP, it's like, oh, tough beans, you gotta go play something else. This game does have PvE in it. That's really, 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 really interesting as far as games go. And I think that'll give the opportunity for someone who's never played a MOBA, like whether it be on console or whatever, to kind of like learn the mechanics of a character. And then if they're like, all right, I'm tired of PvE, let's go try some PvP, they can go hop over there. It's going to split the player base a bit, but they don't have a bunch of game modes to split the player base with. So it's like PvP 5v5 or PvE. So I think it's relatively a good thing that that's there. When I was playing it, the one thing I've noticed, because I do play jungle on AOV, I play jungle a little bit on Smite. and some other games that are like out, even some of the mobile stuff. I play a little bit of all these MOBAs, is that the jungle was like relatively useless. The devs did say they're working on it in a Q&A that happened not too long ago. So we should see some changes happening to that. So that was one thing. Next thing we're gonna get into is like, you know, buffs. I don't know any. I think Dota, or a lot of those players said, you know, if it was Dota or some other game, I forget the game, but somebody I spoke to, and this kind of comes in line with it, is that buffs being RNG generated in the river for you to just go and grab is like another game. I couldn't really say that was a bad or a good thing. You may be able to get outplayed because the buff isn't good on your end, but then at the same time, you're not locked to camp. So somebody who's playing a carry can run in the river real quick, grab the buff and route. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. My hope was that it'd be put on some camps, because RNG is a little bit weird when it comes to MOBAs, but we'll see. The last thing, the mini map was super tiny. I would really appreciate if they gave the ability to resize it, or even like maneuver where we want to put certain portions of the HUD. I know it's a console game, but at least give us that. I think that would help, especially a lot of players who don't look at their map, to just be able to move their map to like somewhere near the center of the screen and just blow it up. So like, oh, all right, we know where the enemy is, because I literally, I'm playing on like, what is this, a 27-inch curved monitor, and I can barely see the map. So give us the ability to blow that up, guys. That's like the only thing that I noticed that was like my major issue, and I couldn't really put that as a con because it's not really affecting gameplay, but it is something I noticed. A lot of people are saying, you know, the game looks like it's not developed by anyone who plays MOBAs, and they think it's gonna die, you know, AOV or other games are gonna succeed it. My thing is this, especially being a part of a lot of new games, this is the beginning of a game. I don't think that rank should be introduced yet. I don't think a lot of these game modes that they want to be introduced yet to the main populace should be introduced yet. It is the beginning. We can't call if it's gonna die or be worse than AOV. That's on if the devs conversate back with the players, and from what it looks like in the general Discord for the game, the devs are constantly talking, or you know, somebody tags somebody, they're like, yeah, you know, I have some questions, can you guys answer? They're always answering questions. So I think it's necessarily, I think that's a good thing that, you know, they're constantly talking with people. If they weren't, yes, I would be worried. There have been issues, and in the beta when people announced said issues, most of those issues got fixed. That's a good thing. Like, everything that they're doing from a gaming company, when I was playing AOV on Switch, is way better than what Tencent was doing for the players when they were asking, yo, we have bugs, are you gonna fix them? There's this bug, are you gonna fix it? These people are on it. They're on it, so I cannot be mad that, you know, that's what they're doing. So if they continue to do that, even if the game has some balance issues, but they're constantly in communication with the community, like, yo, this character may be broken, can you fix this? That'll really help the game get to a great point and grow to a very large player base, and be realistically one of the first top-down MOBAs that hopefully can compete with juggernauts like Smite. But we'll see. We still have a lot of time, man. Like I said, we still got a month to see what happens in the game. But guys, I hope you all enjoyed this. I know it's like a huge departure from what we're doing. If you liked it, go ahead and hit the like button. If you didn't like it, just leave the video. Please don't leave a dislike on it. I appreciate it. Drop a comment if there was anything that you want to see changed in Genesis, or that you loved about the Genesis beta, if you got a chance to play it, or how excited you are. Subscribe to the channel. We will be posting a lot more AOV stuff when Genesis does come out. We will be playing it, but we'll be on Twitch, so links to all of that, to where we're going to be at live, or be in the description. But guys, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Yeah, you know, we out. Peace. I love y'all.